You are all witnessing genocide, and who of you thinks that you can defeat Israel? Do you know how many people have tried to defeat Israel? Some of them actually almost succeeded, but everyone lost. Nobody defeats Israel. Is it not weird how the Israelis become like super arrogant, walking around thinking they own the world? And all these conspiracies about the Jews, how they own everything and stuff. Isn't that weird that this subject just keeps coming back once in a while? Right? So if you really want to bring an end to the genocide, then I want you to step into my frame of thinking as ascended master. Because you, the human authority, your ways, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you just step outside of the paradigm of your ego and are willing to listen to oversight and take in the information, see the prism. And when you see the prism, you can solve the situation. So to understand where Israel gets the power from is to understand time itself. Adam ate the apple and God cursed humanity and dumped it. Laws cannot be overwritten. A CD-ROM, one writable. Universal laws, written. Violate them, no going back. So God changed his mind and all of a sudden made a covenant with Abraham. And through Abraham would come a Messiah, and the Jews had to go through a set of series of events for hundreds of years. The other countries, you all didn't participate in any of that. You were the abandoned. All of you, all the bloodlines, abandoned. So God took a stick and smashed the Jews, and many died. Death penalty for this, death penalty for that, death penalty for this death penalty for that. Very strict laws, while the rest of the earth was partying and doing all this wickedness, and everything was just barbarism. So God took centuries to civilize the Jews, and out of them came the Messiah, Jesus Christ, as a Jew. And that Jew sent these figures into the West, and they created church empire. Wherever you go here in the West, you'll find a church. It's called Church Empire. Went to the moon. You know what I'm saying? That rules the world over and over and over and over and over and over again. That is a timeline that originated over there in Israel. So I know that you might have issues with accepting the theological factor. But if you don't understand the theological factor, you cannot understand where these people get this superpower from, being just a small country. Yes, so every step that humanity makes into the right direction is because somewhere down the line was a Christian or a Jew that made that choice. And so it's like a tree with roots, and the root of the right choice went all the way back into Israel, whereby you cannot separate Israel out of the world. You cannot uproot that. You cannot bring it to justice, because you are just, without intending to insult you, because I'm not a Jew. I'm not a Jew. This is just expertise on many levels of intelligence. If you are a Jew, you're in a line, and you can corrupt your line. You can afford that, because humanity went into a positive timeline over and over and over and over and over and over again. What the Jew did to the destiny of the world, what did your country do to the destiny of the world? Do you understand where I'm going? So lesser civilizations cannot dictate a civilization that already has performed something to the destiny of humanity with that finger. Cannot be done. And the second factor, ladies and gentlemen, do you know how many times the Jews have been exterminated and exterminated and exterminated? There are so many kinds on the... Look at this little finger here. Watch this. So many kinds on this world who have exterminated Jews for no reason. Just because you hate them. So many Jews haters. There's a lot of Jew haters on this world, I'm telling you the truth. So now the Jews are doing the bad thing. Now the Jews are causing some issues, big issues. And whoa, now all of a sudden it's legal to hate Jews. It's Jew hate merry-go-round. So you have to understand this is a delicate matter. So when you start criticizing Israel, you might persuade a political move away from Israel, and that might have consequences because Israel has enemies. This is a difficult political matter. When you get the government so far to pull out of Israel, yeah, Israel has a whole bunch of enemies that still hate them. The hate against Israel is real. Right? So there are difficult political factors involved. You can't just remove support from Israel because Israel is at danger, self-inflicted or not. And two, your country's timeline has not have that effect upon humanity as theirs, whereby they can go into debt. They can destroy themselves. Just like how Germany once destroyed itself, because Germany, do you remember the Reformation of Martin Luther? They Christianized the entire Europe, broke the chains of Vatican City over entire Europe. I know that sounds like nothing in these days, but back then, this Pope would do this and you would be dead. Who are you? It's like that type of tyranny back then. So that gave Germany, quote unquote, credit to be able to do things that ought not to be done without being, any other nation doing that would not be on the face of this earth, like Egypt. The Bible talks about Egypt enslaving the Jews. Egypt is a country these days, but that is not what Egypt used to be. All right? So if you come from a lesser civilization, if your intelligence levels, if your spiritual intelligence level, if your effect upon humanity, if you don't know how to put that heavenly fist and smash it down here on that earth, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, don't interfere in this Israel stuff, because you can't afford that. When you use your little bloodline, what I mean with little bloodline, I don't mean like to say you got a small pee-pee or whatever. This is not physical. This is not about how tall you are, how short you are, how rich you are. This has nothing to do with that. This is how the destiny of humanity goes up or down. Where you're moving humanity. That's what we're talking about. If you are not a mover of humanity in the right direction, effectively, you don't play in this field. And there are many civilizations who claim the birthright of the Jews. For example, Islam. They claim to be the Jew. They claim that they are the prophesied race, that would inherit the world. But that's not so, because in the Bible it's written Abraham had 2 children, yes. One would be the promised child and the other one would inherit many nations. So just because you, quote unquote, know how to conquest the entire world doesn't mean you're the promised child. So you need to be scripturally, intellectually unbiased. You need to be unbiased. This world's full of bias. To really sift through all the bullshit, all the culturalism. Yeah, the Arabs have culturally the right, because the Bible does say they will inherit many nations, but it's the Jew who is the promised child. So before the Jew ruins their birthright, they can commit a whole bunch of fucking crimes. You can't afford that, because your influence upon humanity, this is the essence. I'm distilling you the intellectual essence why you should not pick a fight with Israel. This is why. So the Bible talks about really heavy things happening to Israel, like it being split in two, like literally warnings from Jesus in the Bible that when the Antichrist enters the temple of Jerusalem, that everyone should run away because the destruction will come upon Israel. This Bible is full of these really serious destruction prophecies upon Israel. Well, that's called karma. Do you see what the Jews are doing? They are destroying lands, they are destroying people, and once that karma falls upon them, that's what the Bible is talking about. The whole world turning against them so bad that heaven needs to come down to stop them from being destroyed. Israel is destroying itself, I'm telling you.